understanding that wherever we're at in life, maybe life is feeling pretty good, but you know what? We maybe want something a little bit more, the next level. Or maybe life is kind of in shambles, like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just trying to get someplace different. Wherever we're at in life, the questions are going to differ. So we have to ask these questions relative to our own context. But I like to kind of start out just throwing a few questions out there that are really big picture context questions, like, what do I really want? What am I after? What's the desired outcome? At the end of life, the end stages of life, when I'm laying there and I'm about to meet my maker, what do I want to be able to look back and think about my life or feel about my life that's going to make me feel good, like I had a positive impact, like I did something right, I contributed to the world? Big picture question, macro level question. Digging deep, that's kind of a macro external, macro internal. Why is this important to me? Why do I want to do this? Does this desire, this objective, this outcome lead me toward lasting satisfaction? What is that? The question why is a super powerful question, right? If we get to where we're moving in a direction, life's not all, always a bed of roses, right? The struggle is real. We got to go through these challenges and obstacles in life. But if we understand why am I moving in that direction? Why am I trying to do this thing or achieve this outcome? That is our deep motivation. So we can tap back into that why, and from there draw up our inner resources, our strength, and move forward. So why is this important to me? And, we could be using this why in the big picture context, but we could also be thinking about, I would really like to have a new car, or I'd really like to get a new position in my career, or maybe I really would like to find a new person or a new partner in life. Wherever we're at, we can ask this, why is this important? Why is it important for me to get a new car? Is it because it makes me feel cool? Does it really matter? Why do I want that new career? Is it just to make myself feel better about myself? Or is it because it's really where I'm going to have a more positive impact, or where I can have greater potential for fulfillment, for self-expression and that kind of thing? And one of the big questions that I like to ask in this kind of big picture, asking the right questions, is who's going to be impacted by this decision, by this objective, by this goal? I'm saying, this is what I want to do, whether that's the big long-term picture or what I want to do next week or next month or this year, why I want to do it. But when I'm thinking about that, who's going to be impacted by this? Because we don't live in a bubble, right? So maybe we're going to make a decision to move up in the world, and with that comes a sacrifice of time, and no longer we don't have as much time and energy for other things in life. Or maybe it's eating at our well-being because it's so much stress that we carry. Is this a good decision? We'll get into that more a little bit, but who's going to be impacted by this if I'm drained? Who's going to be impacted by this if I take this burden upon me? Or who's going to be impacted by this if I'm going to go out there and do this really great thing? I'm going to step up into that position because I know I can deliver. I know I can do it. I can have that positive impact. I can take the reins. I can be the lead. I can go out there and make it happen. And this is what the team needs right now. So it's kind of all over. But looking at that, using the tools, who, what, when, where, why, how, and we start to drill down a little bit by asking the right questions, the first step in the process. The second step in the process, along the lines of who will be impacted, is involving the right people. Involving the right people is honestly, this is something that I've struggled with in my own life. I tend to isolate myself. I'm extrovert, but I'm going to do it all by myself. I don't need anybody else's help, which is just junk. I know that that's not true. And yet, because of my childhood upbringing, self-reliance and all of that, it's something I fall back on. That's my comfort zone. I don't have to rely on other people. Then I don't get let down. Something to think about, right? Involving the right people is absolutely necessary. We cannot really step into our own. We cannot really become who we were born to be if we're not doing it with other people, if we're not connected with people who love us, who support us, who encourage us, but also people who challenge us, who are there to help us be accountable to our intentions. So the first step in involving the right people really is evaluating the relationships that we currently have, right? We've all got coworkers, or we've got people in our lives that are there day in and day out. And some of these people are always maybe happy and cheery, like, hey, good morning. And you see a smile and you light up. But sometimes we end up in circumstances where we have friendships or people in our lives that are just kind of perpetually pessimistic, pulling us down. There's always a drag. What's going on? Nothing good, that kind of a thing. And, sometimes that happens in a situation that we cannot really get ourselves out of. But sometimes it is a situation where we can establish some boundaries where we don't need to interact with that negative person as much. We can just maybe go the other way around the cubicle in an office environment, or just kind of drop that person out of our life. We only have so much time and energy. So if we carefully evaluate the people we want in our life, we want the positive people that are lifting us up, the people that are encouraging, again, inspiring us. And somebody said, I can't remember, the wise man once said, but this idea that if you take the circle of your friends, maybe the 10 people you spend the most time with, and you divide out their level of health, wealth, and happiness, how happy, how fulfilled are they in life, you're going to fall somewhere in the middle of that pack. And so if you're hanging out with people that are always just feeling all stressed out, and they're always struggling to pay the bills, and they're kind of struggling with health, there's always issues going on, the kind of people always putting out a fire, that's going to pull you toward that, right? And all of a sudden, maybe I start having a little bit more stress. All of a sudden, maybe, oh my gosh, I got a fire I got to put out, or something like that. We tend to pick up these attitudes and behaviors. And the same is true if we know somebody that's just kind of healthy, they're in a happy relationship, they're happy-go-lucky, they're out going on adventures, and they're doing good things in life. They're kind of, they seem fulfilled and happy with their job and their career. If we're hanging out with people like that, then we're going to find all of a sudden like, how was your day? Oh, it was good. Yeah, how was your day? Oh, my day was good too. And there's that camaraderie and connection in the positive sense. So we're evaluating things like that. And then seeking out those who inspire and encourage us is kind of the next level here. So that's the people, moving from the people that we're just naturally connected with through work and relationships and family, to people that are really inspiring. Earlier this week, I was going through all of this, trying to get ready for this presentation. And I was just hitting my head against the wall, felt like, but just some obstacles I had to work through. And I felt just kind of frustrated, but I needed somebody to inspire me. And I thought, you know what? I need to get me some Tony Robbins. So I went onto YouTube and I looked up a Tony Robbins video, and I listened to that guy for like 10 minutes. And man, I was all lit up. I can do it. I'm going to go out there and make it happen. So it could be as simple as finding a YouTube video or calling up a friend that is going to give you that positive vibe, build you up. But finding those people, knowing who they are, because they're a resource in life. We're going to need them, right? And along those lines, these people in our lives, we need to find somebody that we can just be totally raw, open, and honest with, and invite accountability, right? Honest feedback. So I can get fired up by a YouTube video watching Tony Robbins, but I can't ask Tony Robbins, for some honest feedback, right? So who is it in your life that you allow to tell you like it is, right? Maybe honest feedback sometimes doesn't feel good. Maybe we don't really want to hear it. But somebody that loves you and knows you well enough, they're willing to speak the truth with love, even if it stings a little bit because you need to hear it. That's accountability. Somebody that you can say, hey, this is what I really want to do. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to go out there and make it happen. And if I didn't make it happen, I want you to come in and kind of, keep me accountable, hold my feet to the fire, make sure I'm staying true to what I want to do. Inviting accountability and honest feedback, involving the right people. And another part of involving the right people is really kind of the practical element of it, which is if we're dealing with something that is a challenge, understanding that a lot of times we're not the first person that's had to deal with this challenge. So who can help me here? If I'm trying to solve a problem with back-end website stuff, that's not my area of expertise, but who can help me? Maybe I can find somebody that knows how to do that. It's so easy for them. They've been doing it for years and years, and they could share. They're happy to share, right? Like, oh yeah, this is how you do it. Here, I'll do it for you. Click, 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 done. Wow, that was easier than stressing out about it for a long time, right? And then who is already doing it, thinking about it in terms of modeling. So if I think, what would I like to do with my life, or what would be a fulfilling picture of the future for myself? If I can find somebody that's out there kind of already doing that, already enjoying that lifestyle and that career, a lot of times we need to model what do they do what they did? We're following in somebody's footsteps. People have been blazing the trails. We can literally stand on the shoulders of giants and get to where we want to be in leaps and bounds. We can accelerate our growth by involving the right people in our life. So moving on from there, asking the right questions, involving the right